From saying goodbye to the charm and chaos of Severide's character to the potential of having one of our favorites back, here's everything you need to know about the Chicago Fire cast cuts. Starting off with the most shocking exit of Severide. Taylor Kinney, the actor who brought Lieutenant Kelly Severide to life for a whopping 11 years, has decided to take a break from the series. Can you believe it? From the very beginning, Kinney became a familiar face on the show, infusing our beloved Lieutenant Severide with his charm and strong personality with his rugged good looks and intriguing character. He quickly became a fan favorite and the ultimate heartthrob playboy of the series. But things took a turn when Lieutenant Severide met his match in Season 4, the fantastic Lieutenant Stella Kidd. This encounter caused him to ease up on his womanizing ways, and believe it or not, he eventually popped the big question in Season 9. We witnessed their wedding in Season 10, and don't worry, their marital bliss won't be cut short by some tragic twist. The folks behind the series have no plans to kill off this beloved character. Instead, they'll explain his absence as a career move. Phew. According to someone close to Kinney who spilled the beans to Deadline, he's taking a breather from the intense filming schedule to deal with a personal matter. Those in Kinney's inner circle seem to think it's more of a temporary leave of absence, and rest assured, the show is keeping the door wide open for his return as Severide in the future. His sudden departure was announced during January's filming, and the creative team had to do some rewriting magic to accommodate his absence, but he isn't the only character we'll have to say goodbye to. There's also Emma Jacobs. Remember Emma, the paramedic who bailed on her team during duty? Well, she got fired. The whole crew, especially Violet, breathed a sigh of relief, thinking they were finally free from Emma's troubles, but guess what? She made a surprise comeback as an internal affairs officer investigating Carver's alleged mishandling of a critical intervention. While she cleared Carver, it didn't sit well with Violet, who decided to fight back. In the 11th episode of Season 11, Sylvie Brett faced an inspection of her paramedic program and its finances. Violet and Brett wondered what triggered this unexpected scrutiny. Turns out Emma spilled the beans and made it clear that she orchestrated the inspection. Realizing the need to take down Emma to protect Brett's program, Violet managed to get hold of a laptop containing voice memos that exposed Emma's blackmail tactics. Armed with this evidence, Violet confronted Silva, Emma's boss, and explained how Emma threatened to expose her relationship with Hawkins unless she transferred his girlfriend from Firehouse 51. Jeez. Although we didn't witness Emma's on-screen firing, the undeniable voice memos from Hawkins make a compelling case. Violet's meeting with Silva, accompanied by Chief Bowden, a high-ranking officer, suggests that Emma's superiors couldn't just ignore the situation, so chances are Emma got the boot. She might argue that the memos aren't impartial since Violet was Hawkins' girlfriend. But her past behavior likely influenced her superiors to avoid any further trouble and let her go. Besides, while there hasn't been an official announcement about Caitlin Carver leaving Chicago Fire, it seems highly likely that Emma's character arc has come to an end, at least for now. And just like her, there's also Chris Mansa, whose time has come to an end on the show. Yep, Mansa, who joined the show in the 10th season and quickly became a likable character, won't be sticking around for Season 11. So where did this character Mason Locke go? In the premiere episode, we got a sneak peek at the synopsis and learned that someone from Kidd's past would join Firehouse 51. Usually, when someone new comes in, someone else leaves. The question was, who would it be? Well, it didn't take long to find out that Mason decided to leave Chicago. Turns out he originally came to the city to be with his family. He'd been working as a firefighter in Colorado, but as part of a prison program, and because of his felon status, he couldn't continue as a firefighter in Chicago. Oh, and that's also why Kidd had reservations about him joining Firehouse 51 in the first place. But Kidd witnessed Mason's dedication and saw how well he fit in with the team. However, it seems Mason had other plans in mind. A conversation between Bowden and Kidd reveals that Mason returned to Colorado. He felt called to fight forest fires there, and both Bowden and Kidd respected his decision. After all, that's where he discovered his true passion in the first place. So, Truck 81 is now short one firefighter. Initially, they have a temporary replacement, but Bowden insists on bringing in someone from Kidd's academy days as a full-time member. I mean, Kidd may not be thrilled about it, as she and the newbie don't see eye to eye, but Bowden is determined to make it happen. But all of these exits weren't as bad as what happened with Jimmy Nicholas, so in season 11, tragedy struck and took him away from us way too soon. Firehouse 51 got a call to a burning building, and Evan Hawkins, who's played by Nicholas, was right there on the scene. Now, he's always been a brave soul, and this time was no different. He jumps into action, trying to save someone who's desperately fleeing the fire, but just as they're making their way to safety, the building crumbles, trapping them both under a pile of rubble. It's absolutely heart-wrenching. Now here's the twist. The person Evan saved actually survives, but tragically, Evan can't make it. His injuries from the accident were just too severe and he passed away. Since that devastating episode, we've been following Violet as she tries to pick up the pieces after losing Evan. It's been a tough road for her, but you know what? Going back to work has actually been a part of her healing process. Jimmy Nicholas even shared his thoughts about his last days on the show. In an interview with NBC Insider, he expressed his gratitude for all the support he received from fans throughout his time on Chicago Fire. He mentioned how rare it is to feel such pure love from fans, and he's incredibly thankful for that. But at the same time, he couldn't deny the sadness of saying goodbye to the character he portrayed. He even appreciated the showrunners and writers for giving him a chance to properly bid farewell and treasure his final moments on the show. I mean, goodbyes can be tough, but he's taking it all in with gratitude. But what's going on with the show? Why are they giving everyone the boot? Well, the news of the show getting renewed definitely made fans happy, but there's a catch. It turns out that the reason behind the renewal is a major change in the budget, and unfortunately, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. This change will affect not only Chicago Fire, but the entire franchise. So what does this mean? Well, there will be some cuts that'll impact the appearances of the main cast members in the show. This might result in fewer episodes in the upcoming season as well. It's a bummer because we all love our favorite characters, right? We might even have to get used to seeing more supporting characters instead of our beloved ones taking center stage. With the main cast members appearing less, the writers will have to get creative to work around it. They'll have to use some story tricks and angles to explain why certain characters are absent from certain episodes. For example, there might be times when they are implied to be present at Firehouse 51, but are not actually shown on screen. Or there could be instances where another character mentions that they're off doing something without actually showing it. It's definitely going to be a challenge for the Chicago Fire team, but they're determined to make it work. Plus, we'll have to brace ourselves for some changes and adjust our expectations a bit too. Although I'm sure they'll find ways to keep the excitement and drama alive, so get ready for season 12, even though it might look a little different from what we're used to. The show must go on, right? And hey, it's not all bad news. I mean, there's speculation about a character that has left me pretty hopeful for the next season. Yep, you guessed it, it's about Casey. Now, there haven't been any official cast announcements for the upcoming season, but something exciting is brewing. Our beloved Matt Casey, played by Jesse Spencer, made a guest appearance in season 11 that left fans hopeful for more. In fact, Jesse Spencer himself has expressed his openness to the idea of returning as a series regular. In an interview with NBC Insider, he mentioned that when he initially left the show, the understanding was that if it made sense for the storyline and everyone was on board, bringing Casey back could be a possibility. Of course, nothing is set in stone just yet, and we'll have to wait for any official announcements. But the fact that Jesse Spencer is open to the idea gives us hope that we might see our favorite firefighter back in action, saving lives and capturing our hearts once again. So from the potential of having one of our favorites back to saying goodbye to the charm and chaos of Severide character, that was everything you need to know about the Chicago Fire cast cuts.